All right, everyone. Tonight I'm showing you why I'm making the shift from ChatGPT to Gemini. So, if you're a business owner, particularly even an insurance agency owner who struggle to figure out which LM model is going to be the best fit for you, by the end of this video, I'm going to show you why Gemini might be the best fit for you. But here's what I need you to do. I need you to hit share, subscribe, and like the channel below so you can find this valuable content as we put it out typically every week for you. And I want to welcome you back to the channel. I'm Chris with Niche Your Business. And today on the Artificial Intelligence for Insurance Agency YouTube channel, we're talking about ChatGPT versus Gemini Pro. Look, I have been a fan of ChatGPT really even before the days before it even came out. I've been using AI before we had all these AI models as I'm finishing my educational degree in AI right now. One of the biggest frustrations I've had though with ChatGPT has been that its ability to follow instructions, simple instructions. Even with the right prompt, it seems that sometimes it doesn't listen. The next thing is ecosystem, whether it be ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini. It's about the ecosystem. That's what each one of these models want us to do. They want us to stay on their model. That's the reason why you've seen things like Perplexity's Comet browser, ChatGPT Atlas, even Gemini's browser coming out. They're trying to leave you in that ecosystem. But why Gemini? Well, let's talk about the Google ecosystem. Who has a better ecosystem than Google? Maybe Microsoft, but that's about it. See, with Gemini, not only can it help you with your traditional Google search, and who does search better than Google? Probably nobody. It is the number one search engine in the world. Now we could talk about Google Ads and Google Campaigns and being able to use the AI model in all these different things. Now let's talk about images, nano banana, whatever you want to call it. Once again, and next level images where you can bring two images together. And I've done some other videos on this. Then there's VO3, the video one that Google came out with a few months ago that continues to get better and better, that we're starting to see a lot of it in AI ads. Now, if you have a student account with Google, there's one powerful thing with 3.0 that a lot of people are not talking about, and that is for free, you can get access to where you can analyze a video up to an hour. And I'm going to show you right here how we could do this potentially to build a YouTube coach. In fact, that's what we're going to do. I am actually going to walk you through how I can use this to analyze some of the videos for my flood insurance channel and how I could improve these videos and things like this. So think about how potentially you could use the same model, but you could use it. Hey, help me improve my sales process. What if you could use the AI as a sales coach inside of your organization? Look, you can't see what every team member does all the time. I mean, you just don't have time, right? You do need help. And what if Gemini could do that for you? So let's talk about this today. So I'm going to go over to my YouTube channel real quick and I'm going to pull a video. All right, here we go. You see how it's examining the camera. Now look also what you want to take a look at. I want you also to take a look at something with ChatGPT with the speed of deep thinking compared to something like this too. That's something else we've always struggled on too, is that ChatGPT's deep thinking always seems to take a very long time. Now, as it's analyzing all these things, you see what it's doing here. And you see how fast it did that? You see how it's telling me I have a retention rate between 22 seconds and 56 seconds? You see how it's telling me to improve here? Tell me to shorten the bio. Look, now typically on a bio, I try to do keep it between 5 and 10 seconds. That's just a rule I've always gone off with YouTube. The bluff, the bottom line up front too is what I want to go in question, question, preview, promise. You see how we're giving them the immediate answer. This goes back to actually what AI models also say about your website, giving the quick answer. It's how an AI scrapes your website. Now looking at the blog comment format. So, I probably do need to do a better job of visually showing the comment on screen. The only reason I don't sometimes is to protect people's privacy there, but we could still probably find a way to show the question. And you see all the different things it's taking me through here. On camera presence. You see how deep this thing is getting on helping me as a YouTube coach? Now I want to take you over to ChatGPT, and we're going to do the same thing here. Actually, that's not ChatGPT. That's Manus. Let's see. All right, now let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. You see some of the things. Yeah, ChatGPT does an okay job here, right? But you see how much more detailed Gemini was. And so this thing's giving us some pretty good things. It just feels like that maybe ChatGPT 5.1 is more than a 30,000 foot view. You see, you don't see anything about the bio or any of that stuff, do you? Like you did on the other one. So this is just kind of one example. Now let's go back over to Gemini and see what it can do. Let's see, connectors. Now I'm back over in Gemini. We're still working on this video, but now what I'm having to do is if it can help me build a content plan around this topic. Some would call this a topic cluster. And what I'm trying to do is when I think about topic cluster, I think about topic in the middle, and I've got these different things pointing out, down, away, and I'm hitting all these different angles of that topic. And that's basically what I'm looking for here. So you see, it's helping me define my content strategy. It's developing the framework. And let's see potentially what tools. And see on the right-hand side here, So I can continue to tell it what I'm working on here. And on the right-hand side here, it's probably going to go through and start improving this. This is where I want to test it kind of a little bit with Facebook and Instagram. I want to see how it can potentially analyze those platforms for opportunities for me, which I imagine this is going to take a minute. And so on the left-hand side here, let's just click the see, it's telling me exactly what it's doing if you drop that down, how it's mapping things out and all these different things. And it's probably going to be updating my strategy in just a second over here. It's even helping me craft social media tactics. Remember, though, AI is never copy and paste. The serves as like a VA, an assistant. It's a guide to work with you. And you need to have the foundations inside your organization to know when to push back. Hey, know that we know that's not correct. So many times we see what's called AI slop, where people just kind of throw this stuff out here. They don't look at it. They don't pay attention to it because they don't have the right foundations, whether it's SEO, AE, whatever you want to call it, customer journey mapping, content mapping. You want to have the foundations, or you want to work with someone who does have the foundations when building these things. And you kind of see how it's still thinking. And you see how it's updated it. It's telling me exactly what to do here. Look, I didn't really ask it how to generate real estate leads with Facebook groups. I mean, that is cool step-by-step training. Once again, that's probably because it's tied to Google with YouTube. You see, it's probably going to dial this back in on the right-hand side a little bit because I've given it this on the left-hand side. I've given it these things. Sorry, my spelling's off a little bit tonight, so we'll see if it figures it out. See how it's revising the content strategy, even optimizing ad performance and improving the approach. So now it's giving me this updated strategy. And you see how it does these things. So it's probably updated this over here, right? So here, let's do this. Let's just go ahead and create a web page with this. And kind of see what it does here. Now, this web page, look, historically, it still hasn't measured up to things like Lovable and Replit, who are really good at building web pages. Even Manus has done a decent job of building web pages. But let's just see what Gemini can do here. And let's see with 3.0 how it has improved here. All right, you see how it's giving me looks like the HTML code here? So let's see if we go from code to preview. Now we'll probably have to wait till the code's done. See, it's getting pretty deep here. And see, I already gave it to me. Now, you see how fast it gave me the core strategy frameworks here, story brand, the ask you answer remix, the big five here, the 5-step script of all the things we're following. And this is a full content strategy, basically. So imagine handing this off to someone in your organization, some side of your insurance agency, a content manager to help them. Now, how are you going to share it with them? Well, you could basically copy the contents, or you could share it by copying the link. Now let's see how deep we can go in this. What? Now, I didn't give it a state or city. I wanted to kind of figure that out on my own. So let's just kind of see what it does here. This is kind of funny because the surprise creek is one that always pulls up a big issue. So as we're waiting for it to kind of update all this, I think my mouse died. And so that's what's kind of frozen on the screen. So as it's updating its content strategy dashboard on the right-hand side, so now you can kind of see the strategy that's given me here. Now, it went inland here, but really what I'm looking for are states. So now I'm asking it to really target specific locations. And this goes back to, having this conversation with a team member, having this conversation with Gemini or ChatGPT, whatever it is you want to use. So as it's working on my content strategy on my dashboard here, you can kind of see the different things it's going through. And as it updates this too, you'll see where it says the hero, the villain. You see how you could basically hand this off too. If you were following just something like StoryBrand, where you could look at the hero, the guide, and all these things, and it could give you this visual right here really easy. And it looks really good to being able to hand it off to a team member. Now, is this something I'm going to throw on the website right now? No, but it's a start. So this is just one easy example of how I would be using Gemini 3.0 for my content strategy for my insurance agency. Look, You even see here as it's pulled up, it's telling me not only just the cities and the areas of high priority, the boom market. So here, even though it said Houston, inland suburbs, I still don't want to focus on the area because that's a coastal area. And you see it's kind of updating the dashboard. So let's see what happens in Central Texas. If when it's going through all this, if it just goes through and it automatically updates for me. Now you can see too, I can't really scroll any further down on this. That could be a downside. Okay, so now it's finally gotten it updated, right? So it's telling me these different markets here. It's telling me even key cities in Pennsylvania. It says Quanshot Valley. It's telling me other areas at St. Louis and Davenport. Now let's see if we can click. Yeah, we can. You see how I can click on these different things? The plan, all these different things. So you see, but when you go over to something like ChatGPT, let's go back over here to video code now. Now I've asked ChatGPT to kind of give me a similar plan. And you can kind of see what it's doing here. What it's giving me. Now look, something similar to Texas. You see how here it once again hit Houston. So we kind of see that originally that Gemini and ChatGPT are still pulling that Houston area. Now, on the Georgia one, it says your home turf because it's recognizing as I've given all this information, it's remembered me. It's remembered where I'm located and all these different things. Now it's hit Tennessee, you see North Carolina. See, it's been very broad here. But yeah, it's given us, all these tiers and all these things, right? But we don't see where it's visualized anything. And that's kind of the difference of where it's going a deeper step. So it's tell me Atlanta, once again, Houston's not a good one for us. But now it's telling me to create a cost video for every one of these cities, basically. Create a lender problem video. So yeah, it's giving me a step-by-step here. And so while ChatGPT is good, if we go back over to Gemini, we've got this right here. I feel like it goes to a next level when using it for something like this. So this is just one example of why I'll be shifting things to Gemini. Now let's go back and revisit this. Remember, I said that it was all about the ecosystem, right? So let me go over to now we look at here. We can look at AI mode. So let's just do this. Now, the purpose of this to kind of see, it gives me all the different tools. I can check this and that, right? It's telling me all these different tools. It's pulling all these different things up for me, right? And if I was using the Chrome browser, mine keeps pulling up Yahoo for some reason. But right here, like you can see all these different things here. Let's look at videos. All these different things are pulling up, right? Images, short videos, and all these different things, right? And so the key here is that, let's even go ahead and look over here, CPC. So the key here is that I could go over here to the Google search right here, right? I could search by image and all these different things. But the key here is that I could use something else. Let's do this. Let's go to a bookmark instead to make things easy. It's not really giving me what I want here. But let's go back to what we were originally working on over here. So that's why I just want to kind of show you real quick though. But the whole purpose of going back to things on Gemini is the ecosystem. Compared to ChatGPT, I just feel like Atlas there's a lot of friction there. But with Gemini, let's go over down here to, let's pull this back up here. You see how we can change models here? You see how we can get Canvas, guided learning, all these different things. We can even create images out of it. We could upload photos, add from the drive, all these things. We could go from thinking to the fast. It's giving us the option to choose our model, while AI typically now is picking the model for us. And so that could be really important. As we go through this. Now, one of the things I still love about ChatGPT or OpenAI is the way it can connect to connectors, MCPs, like HubSpot and all these different things, just like Claude does. You don't see that necessarily yet in Google. You do see it connecting to Google Drive, Gmail, and these other things, of course, because it's part of the ecosystem of keeping you on that ecosystem. So, sorry if my camera was on the wrong screen there, but I just want you to think about this when you're deciding which model to use. What's more important to you? Comment in the video below. You tell me what's more important to you. Is it having these visuals? Is it just going through the text? Is it being able to go over here to something like this and hit share? Let's see. No, that's not what I look for. Yeah, share. How you could draft it in Gmail. Or we could, I'm trying to figure out where the audio, I just saw the audio overview. Let's go to guided learning on here. So imagine you're dealing with a real estate agent and they're able to use the guided learning here. And they're wanting to learn about these non-coastal flood prone areas of Dallas, Fort Worth. See, I've reached my thinking limit. So that's one of the downsides to Google. I'm using the free version right here. I used to have the paid version, but we weren't using it that much. So you could totally upgrade to the paid version to get more on the thinking limit here. But I just wanted to kind of give you an idea. If you had a realtor, somebody who's trying to learn about these different areas, using the thinking version of 3.0 to understand that. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this video. Look, comment below in the bottom of this video. Tell me what you want to see next when it comes to using AI inside of your insurance agency. Whether it's something like this, whether it's your sales process, renewal process, some other things we've talked about. Maybe it's from an HR standpoint. I look forward to connecting with everybody.